Welcome to another episode of Sports and Discourse with your host, Derek Stevenson. And on today's episode, unfortunately, I got to talk about another disappointing loss for my Kentucky Wildcats. And I knew February was going to be tough on us, or I'll say the later part of January into February. I knew it was going to be one of the toughest parts of our schedule. And last couple of weeks, we've been playing bad. We lost 3 of the last 4 back-to-back at home. So we ain't been, we ain't been on point. We ain't been doing what we supposed to do. And this year, it's been tough for a lot of college teams to win on the road. So there's some times when I expect, like, if we playing on the road, we may drop a game here or there. But we got to secure home court advantage. We got to, when we playing in Rupp Arena, we supposed to win the majority of those games. And I don't want to get too down because on the one hand, I feel like there's going to be a lot of teams that's going to be in the top 5 to top 10, and they're going to lose a decent amount of games. So when Kentucky's dropping a couple games here and there, it does make me a little worried, but I still do feel like we have a good chance to get a decent seed in the tournament because even if you look at like Tennessee, I think Tennessee had lost 4 or 5 games as well. I think it might have been 4. So everybody that's, all the top teams are still losing games. So we ain't no different. The only thing that really worries me is that with us being so young and us not knowing how to play defense, when we play teams like Tennessee's, they got a team full of veterans. They real physical, big. Those are the teams that are going to match up poorly for Kentucky, or poorly against Kentucky, I'll say, because we just got a lot of young, talented dudes, but the guys that we were relying on mostly, they just not physically ready to compete in these type of games, these ugly, nasty, physical games. Like I said, our defense has already been a problem for us. We weren't full strength. The second game in a row, DJ Wagner has set out. And, a lot of times, earlier in the season, people was making a big deal about DJ playing kind of bad. But DJ had kind of turned up a little bit. So now that he's not there, we missing his play because DJ was adding us, another 12 to 14 points a night. He was giving us, effort on defense. I ain't going to say he was playing great defense, but he was giving us effort. And, last night was one of those games where I felt like finally my guy Trey Mitchell folded. And I'm not going to harp too bad on Trey Mitchell because Trey Mitchell has probably been the most consistent player that we've had all season, so I can't really say too much bad about Trey. I guess it was about time for him to have one of these games. Unfortunately, this was one of the games that we probably needed him the most. So if he was going to have a poor performance, we maybe could have escaped some of the other teams that we played without Trey. But against Tennessee, we absolutely got to have Trey playing good basketball. And he did end up having 5 rebounds, but that's pretty much all he did. In 24 minutes, he missed all of his field goals. 2 threes. He missed his free throw. Didn't score 1 single point. Had 1 assist. And usually I can count on Trey to give us a nice little 10 plus points a game, 5 plus points, rebounds, and a few little assists here and there. Because like I said, I always like the offense when it runs through Trey. So last night, man, Trey just for whatever reason, he couldn't get it together. And I had read something earlier, I don't know if it's true or not, but I think he may have been dealing with a little bit of a back injury. And if that's the case, it definitely showed. And I hope that if that was it, I hope that it's not going to be something that's going to affect him for the rest of the season because he did have an extreme drop-off in production. He's never played this poorly in a Kentucky uniform. I don't know what he may have done in some of his other schools, but he ain't never played this bad. And that may have been the difference of us winning or losing. Justin Edwards actually had one of his better performances. He gave us 7 points. It ain't much, but 7 points, 4 rebounds. He was playing some pretty good defense. So I ain't gonna harp too much on Justin Edwards because he actually didn't play bad. He didn't explode, but he didn't play bad. Rob Dillingham, he turned all the way up. Rob did everything he could do to try to win the game for us. 14 for 20, 6 for 8 from three, 35 points and 4 assists. Rob was trying to put the team on his back. And I seen a lot of people comment that there was some questionable substitution going on when Rob was hot. And like I said, I don't know what to make of that. Maybe Cal was just feeling like he had to rest him at certain points, and he was trying to like keep him fresh. Because he knew he was going to be key for us. But a lot of people was kind of questioning his substituting decisions, but Rob was going crazy. And I knew Rob was going to have one or two of these games where he was going to explode. So that was his one where he was getting busy. He was showing you the talent that he has. Now, like I said, the only thing is with these guys being so young and so underdeveloped physically, Tennessee just got tougher dudes. You know what I'm saying? They just got more physical dudes, nastier play style. And this Kentucky team, I ain't gonna call them soft, but because I don't think they scared. I think they play hard. I just think they physically there's some matchups that just aren't gonna go in their favor. But I don't think it's because they soft. I think they all play hard and they all confident. But it just is what it is. Tennessee's got a lot of veterans, so they did all they could do. Reed Shepherd, he had a nice game. Reed's kind of been playing a lot better since he's been getting more shots and stuff lately. Like I said, I think he had been getting froze out a little bit, not purposefully, but just because other guys was playing better and taking more shots, so wasn't a whole lot of room for him to get a lot of shots. But he ended up giving us 16 points and 6 assists. Super solid game from Reed. He was scrapping. He got 5 rebounds. Reed always gonna scrap. Reed always gonna play hard. He gonna try to get in there and get some steals. He gonna mix it up with some guys. So Reed definitely gave the same effort and same type of performance that we used to seeing from him. Adu Thero had a nice little solid game. 9 points, 6 rebounds. That's about what I expect and a need from Adu. Adu was playing some okay defense, you know what I'm saying? 7 for 8 from the free throw line. So Adu played a nice little game. And then obviously, Antonio Reeves definitely did what he does. He scores. He didn't really shoot the 3 ball that well. And actually, to be honest with you, he didn't shoot a great percentage, but still he made some nice baskets. Some nice timely plays here and there. If he would have been a little bit more efficient, he might have could have had, he might have could have got close to 30 points. But he did what he normally does. I expected him to get his 20 points. He got it. Onyenso, Onyenso works hard, and Onyenso, I do think eventually is going to be a good player, and definitely I think he's getting better and better each night when he's playing defense. He still makes some mistakes, like a lot of these guys I said, they get sealed off a lot and give up open lanes to the basket, but Onyenso scraps. Onyenso plays hard. Onyenso is basically still in the starting position because we got Aaron Bradshaw, and Aaron Bradshaw ended up with 6 rebounds last night. But you just want to see a little bit more production from Bradshaw's 2 points. It just ain't going to be enough for us to win the championship. No Big Z. So I don't know what's going on with Big Z, man. We did all of this, this big campaign to get Big Z back. And he came out the first game and he looked like Luka Doncic or somebody, you know what I mean? And then I don't know what happened to Big Z, but he's just been missing in action. So that's been kind of disappointing because I was expecting the team to take another turn, to step up another notch when Big Z got on the court with him, especially after seeing him at first game. So, yeah, it was pretty disappointing. But I just think that, unfortunately, I got to get to my man Cal. Um, and I would classify myself as a Cal defender. Because I'm just honest. When Cal first came to Kentucky, he said he was gonna be a player's first university, and he sold his pitch to everybody that he's gonna get these kids to the NBA, turn these kids into mega millionaires, and he's done that. But he also sold us a little bit of a just watch what I do and everything will work itself out. And in the beginning part of his career at Kentucky, it was definitely, I was 100% in on it because everybody knows we had 4 Final Fours, 1 championship. So it was really looking like Calipari was about to change college basketball and have Kentucky dominant every year with these young freshman-based teams. But unfortunately, I'm starting to lean a little bit towards the fan base that says you might have to start adapting your coaching style to winning games at Kentucky and keep the NBA goals and dreams on the back burner just a little bit. I think that the guys that he's recruiting, a lot of them are going to eventually develop and be nice NBA players. But I think if he wants to maximize what he can get out of them while they're at Kentucky, satisfy the fan base, satisfy, the university, I think he needs to start shifting his mentality a little bit. I think you may need to explore some other options offensively. You might need to teach a couple of different defenses just so that you aren't so predictable. Because I think in the beginning when he first implemented this NBA style offense, it worked. It was very successful because, people were still trying to learn and trying to scout what he does. And it was a little bit harder to game plan for it. Now I think people have just seen it so much that I think they just know how to formulate a good game plan to try to compete. And some nights, Kentucky's just going to have too much talent where they just not going to be able to be stopped. Other nights or other situations like with Tennessee where they just physically too strong for Kentucky, sometimes they can deal with it. And I think he needs to start trying to win games at Kentucky first. I get that he wants, everybody to realize their dreams. I understand that. But I do think at some point you got to try to satisfy the fan base of Kentucky. You got to try to win for the name on the front of the jersey, which is Kentucky. And I think he might need to start reevaluating that because now I just don't think you can win with a whole group of just freshmen leading the team. Like I think he may have to shift his roster building style. I don't even want to call it recruiting anymore because with the NIL and the transfer portal, I don't even know if you can really look at it as recruiting. So I call it team building, roster construction. So I think he might need to reevaluate how he constructs his rosters going forward. And you may have to get more guys like a Trey Mitchell that has a lot of experience. Go find some of these guys that's really nice, that's juniors and seniors. Bring them to Kentucky. Then you add a couple of guys like a Rob Dillingham, like a Reed Shepherd. Add them to the mix of that, and I think you could be more successful because if Rob and Reed Shepherd was the starting backcourt and then they were playing with, a combination of 3 juniors and seniors, I think they would give Kentucky a chance to win the championship. If Kentucky had 2 or 3 guys that played as consistently as Trey Mitchell, even, discounting against Tennessee. But if they had 2 or 3 guys that played, that consistent to, guide and help lead 2 young star or young talented freshmen, I think Calipari could be more successful at Kentucky. And like I said, I'm a Cal defender. I love Calipari. I think Calipari is a good coach. I think he can do all the things that people say he can't do, like the X's and O's. I think he can be an X's and O coach. Um, if it was necessary. I think he just doesn't think it's necessary. I think he thinks that he can still win championships just playing this pro style basketball with these young freshmen. And I just don't know if that's the case, man. I'm just starting to feel like maybe he's gonna have to start exploring other options, other coaching styles, because I just feel like at some point it's going to be hard for anybody, any of the fans to keep supporting it. Like I said, it's taken me a long time to even start to feel like I feel now, but now I'm starting to become more like in the middle about how I feel about it, because I do understand, what he's trying to do, and I'm cool with him trying to turn these kids into millionaires. Kentucky is still a good program. Like, even, after that loss, we still gonna be in the top 25. So Kentucky is still always gonna be a force in college basketball. But to avoid having these long droughts where we go into the Final Four, where we get in championships, I think he may have to start to do things a little differently. But anyways, man, we're going to wrap it up right there. It was a disappointing loss, man. Not because I didn't think Tennessee was a good team. I thought Tennessee was going to give us problems. I think Tennessee is rightfully one of the best teams in college basketball. Definitely, probably capable of winning the championship. So I knew they was gonna, fight hard and give us a problem, but I just hate to see us lose at Rupp Arena, especially back to back. And I hope that the team, I hope they stay focused, stay hungry, keep trying to improve on defense, because defense is the only thing that I think could stop these guys from becoming an excellent team. If they could just somehow learn how to play defense, I think they could win the championship. And like I said, I still think, it's possible that we're going to get a good seed in the tournament, because I feel like a lot of teams, there's going to be a lot more upsets this season. So I feel like there's going to be a lot of high seed team with 6, maybe 7 losses. So hopefully, hopefully Kentucky can hang in there and get us a good seed, and we can start off and have a good tournament, because we're due for another good run in the tournament. We need another good run badly. Our fans, we getting impatient. We want to have something to talk about postseason. We don't want to be out of here in the first weekend. So hopefully, they can turn things around over. But anyways, I'll wrap it up right there. You guys let me know how you feel about the last couple weeks of Kentucky basketball. Do you still feel like we can win the championship, or do you think on to next season, as they say? And also, let me know how you feel about Calipari's style and Calipari's coaching decisions. Are you still a big supporter of Cal, if you ever was, or are you starting to change a little bit, sort of like I am? Just let me know, and we'll get back at it next time on Sports and Discourse with Derek Stevenson.